Coach.
What's going on today, Val the Voice?
Hey, how's it going?
What the weather looking like at home in Chicago?
It was 52 degrees in Chicago.
For people that don't know, that is a heat wave for the wintertime. Call it global warming. And Al tried to help us out in 1989.
Oh my gosh. And here's the thing, the first day of winter was Sunday.
Wow. Hey, you remember back in the day,
hmm
we always said we could just make it to Halloween, but you can make it to Halloween with the weather good. You good up here. And then all of a sudden, the weather blew out and it was gray all the way until like April showers. Now, besides this year, you guys had pretty mild winters the last few years.
Yeah. And here's the thing is that it jumps up sometimes where I feel like we got winter very early because it started to show up in Chicago at the end of November, beginning of December, like where the wind chill factor. And I was thinking it's too early, but I've noticed that the season that's getting ready to come always shows up weeks before it's scheduled to be here.
You know,
So I
it's like a
mhm.
burglar. They look at your house, case you out, and then they come on back in a couple of days, see if you're gonna be there. So old man Winter like tap me on the shoulder, and all that. And but it's still crazy though, Val, because again, we are Nashville in the South here. We
Mhm.
were 55 yesterday, 57
Mhm.
Sunday. We are going to be 69 tomorrow, 72
Wow.
Christmas, 76, 77 on Friday. So, they said it's scary for us though, because that is like tonight, it looked like it was ready to be a tornado. And just coming off of a year, I think either last year or year before last around this time. Those are not fun, but I'll take the snow. Because when you're sleeping at 2, 3 in the morning and you hear that siren and you can't see the tornado, that I would take snow any day.
I know,
That's
and I definitely
You remember
am
Twister
doing
movie?
that. What was that?
You remember the movie Twister?
I do.
Yeah, that's no joke.
It's no joke, but what is no joke is it's our last live of Talk on Tuesdays for
Man,
2025. We're going to be coming back. We got a comedy show we want to talk about, but then more importantly, some of the top moments of 2025. It's Interlude Section presents Talk Tuesdays, getting ready to get started right about now. It's another edition of Interlude Sector Presents Talk on Tuesdays. And of course, we're excited that we're a couple of days out from the big day, Christmas. There we go. But myself,
as we say back in the day, Santa Claus.
yeah, Santa Claus. Oh man, I got to put on my Santa hat.
It's
I'll
Santa
use it later.
Claus back in the hood.
It's,
What is
it's,
Santa Claus at?
oh my gosh.
No Santa
Santa
around.
Claus.
It's Santa Claus.
And of course, if you know what, it might be a little too late, but you can still order it. It is the book, and it's called A DJ Saved My Life. It is. Oh, thank you so much for this, Mr. Springer. Get a copy of A DJ Saved My Life. And it is available at purelighthouse.media.com. Now, some people have said, Lisa last night said she tried to order it and there were some issues. Those issues have been fixed.
Ta-da!
You get your copy.
In this episode of Get Your Copy of A DJ Save My Life, the issues have been resolved.
You know what? I like the DJ voice you had with that, which is really cool. That's amazing. Mr. Springer, he remembered. Shout out to our Key Spot partners. And of course, if you want to amplify your business on the app, the Key Spot app, please go to keyspot.com/free. Let them know that Interludes sent you. And then, of course, patreon.com/interludes. We are, you know what? Now, sometimes myself and Coach, we don't record all of our conversations after the show, but some of them we do.
Right.
Because a lot of times Coach will say, Val, you ain't recording this, are you? And I'm like, oh, man, I got to put down my phone.
You know how that, man. That's called snitching. Ken, what's up, baby?
Oh, man. And of course, Coach.
Got the QR code to the Pull Up Podcast Show.
There you go. We were so excited that Coach finally joined 2025 and got an IG. Yay, Coach!
And I'm moving with over 100 people, still moving, still picking up people. So, man, make sure you check out that QR code or just get on your IG and hit me at the Pull Up Podcast Show, and I'm gonna hit you.
Know.
Your boy, you know, I've had some interesting people get at me on the gram, and I've been loving that. As they say back, and I'm still saying the gram. I'm on the gram now. So
you're on the gram. I liked how you're saying that because now you're hip like your son.
Yeah, I'm like little Tom, right?
Exactly, and of course, Janita is in the building. JB Psalms. What big up, Coach? She's proud of you. She's proud of you being on Instagram, as we all are. Oh my God.
Hey, JB, it's a step by step, but I'm gonna get there. Watch.
I see Ashley is in the building from Brooklyn. How are you? Good to see you, sir.
Appreciate you getting at me on the LinkedIn, man. I got you on the LinkedIn. You see, I accepted it, so we connected now. So get at me.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Ashley's a good dude. I've known him for years, so I'm just telling you, it's a beautiful thing. And so, you know what? I wanted to just have the conversation about some cultural moments, some of the big cultural moments of 2025. When I think about some of the things that happened over the year, and this is kind of our little bit of a countdown. A lot of things happened on our show and we talked about it. And then there's some things that happened and we didn't talk about it. And, I think myself and Kevin, we did a little research according to AP News and Hollywood Reporter. Kevin is in the background.
We need to give him like one of them little breaking news.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm just saying that it's kind of that we get that. And I was trying to figure out like what were some of the things that stood out during the year. Now, Coach, I'm going to give my top 5 things that happened that I saw that was kind of like pop culture. Now, I'm going to mention this top 5 cultural moments. Here we go. Beyonce winning Best Country Album earlier this year. I doubted the hype, but then we all got introduced to her daughter, Blue Ivy, and she ended up getting her signing with a corporation, according to AP News. So, did you? For Beyonce getting this Best Country Album, she was not acknowledged at the Country Awards, but at the Grammys, she did win for Best Country Album. So, what did you think of that?
I liked it. People dog me; they still killing me because Taylor Swift just killed it for me. I mean, Taylor was everywhere. I mean, I love what Beyonce did. I'm a big Beyonce fan, huge. I'm in the Beehive, but it just seemed to me just that. Beyonce and Taylor were just like switching off. And I loved it because they weren't overlapping. Taylor made her money, then Beyonce got a chance to make hers. I'm still down with the Beyonce Taylor Swift tour. I'm telling you right now, they will make enough money to start their own continent.
And of course, I have to think about that because it's like, and I'm mentioning this because she was in, pop music, R&B, just kind of in that lane, and then she just switched lanes. But I feel like she had been setting us up to say, "Look, I'm from Texas, and I come from this a historical background. Black cowboys. I have not done so much research, Coach, on
Let me
black
tell you something.
cowboys.
You should ask your boy up on
I
here,
did
Mike
not
Drew.
know."
Mike Drew,
Yeah,
let me
Mike
tell you.
Drew.
First of all, let me bag this up because I'm gonna tell you something that you don't even know.
Mhm. Well,
So,
what do
as
you, what do you
our
got?
marketing company, we are part of. We work with the black. There's a black rodeo. For those that don't
Mhm.
know, the black rodeo goes around. It's huge. And Mike Drew had out west. Mike has been to the black rodeo the last couple of years. Boy had on a damn cowboy hat like he was Orange Juice Jones in the rain. But you know what I'm saying? It was cool because he originally told me about it, and then our job just so happened to be part of the movement of the black rodeo going across the southeast region. I don't think it reached up north, but it's from like Texas here all the way out Arizona. It's big. When I say big, Mike said like coming to the taste Chicago type big.
Yeah. Yeah, and
So
I have to say I did not realize our history in the culture of black cowboys, black cowgirls, just that whole sentiment. And so, whether you dislike, or if you are like, you're a beehive, the education or the history that was kind of put in our face to say, wait a minute, this is something different. And it's not her switching genres. This is her kind of saying, look, this is something that's a part of our culture. And other people would have you believe that we are not a part of this culture of black farmers and black cowboys and black cowgirls. And so I like that was something that culturally happened in pop culture.
right.
But for people like you and me, we kind of tilt our head like, wait a minute, there's some other things happening beneath. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I caught. That's
Well,
what I caught.
and I love that. And if I'm gonna stay in that musical lane, my biggest of all year, and we're coming up on a year, it's that damn Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl. Oh my goodness.
So obviously you jumped ahead, so that's fun. So my, which is fine. I Number 5 was the Beyonce album, but number 1 was Kendrick Lamar. Let me go ahead and bring this up. Why would you make that your favorite pop culture moment of 2025? Okay. I like when the internet goes down.
He told us.
All right. I think we lost Coach. I don't know what happened. And so I think Coach he'll come back. He'll come back. Here we go. But yeah, I was gonna go ahead and bring up about Kendrick Lamar. Coach Tony was about to go into what was happening regarding why he liked Kendrick Lamar. And Coach, I see that you're back. Coach,
Man,
can you hear me?
I don't know
Can you hear
what
me?
happened to that, man. I was just out of pocket. But I was just saying just what the things were going on in the country, you know, and I thought Kendrick did a hell of a job of just pulling together a lot of the different cultural things that was going on in the 47 coming into the house. And it was like almost overlapping, you know, it's like watching a wave. You see how pretty the wave is until it slams to the ocean floor, right? And if you get a
Right.
perfect surfer, you're like, oh my God. You ever watch, and this is dead serious, you ever watch surfers, Val, and watch a real good surfer?
Sometimes, and I'm talking about in person and watching them. I have watched surfers
what happens when you watch that surfer and you put the whole picture together, the wave, the surfer? What happens with you?
I, I'm praying that they don't get overtaken by the wave. That's me, you
Not
know.
me. I'm just in awe when I see that surfer in the water. He's riding this big wave, and then the water does this final loop where it's ready to come down, and the surfer's in the tunnel. Oh my God! I think that is the coolest thing
Oh,
in
when
the
they're
world.
like on the wave and then you see the
Yeah,
tunnel of the
and
water.
then it washes
Oh,
out
okay.
because I've been out where they surf and all that, and you kind of heard the people talk stories. And I don't know if you know or not, you got to be a damn good swimmer because the water is basically lifting off the ocean floor to make that
Mhm.
tunnel. And a lot of time when those surfers go in, it slams them to the ocean floor, and then that wave comes up. So you got to be a pretty good swimmer to get back where you got to be at. But to me, that's kind of what I seen with Kendrick Lamar. He hit this wave from the Super Bowl to this, to that, and the controversy and all that. He was riding it. And it just took this whole country by storm because he knew politically what was going on. He knew politically what just happened. And he knew politically what was looking out futuristic. And he brought it all to the Super Bowl. And everybody had to talk about it. I don't care who the hell you were. Everybody talked about it, whether it was good, bad, or ugly. Everyone talked about it. And I thought he captured the people of our country and worldwide. The Super Bowl's worldwide, but he captured everybody
Mhm.
that night for 7 to 8 minutes.
Yeah, and usually the Super Bowl performance is about 12 to 13 minutes, but it was with SZA, Serena Williams was crip walking,
Yep.
and the diss because every the big he did several of his songs,
This was against
and
Drake.
Samuel L. Jackson introduced him, and so
As
this is
Uncle
one of
Tom.
me.
He was Uncle Tom.
Yeah, so Uncle Sam
No, he was
came
Uncle
out
Tom.
as Uncle Sam. He was Uncle Sam. He was not Uncle
Correct.
Tom. I don't know if I
He
know
was Uncle
Uncle Tom.
Sam, but he was teaching everybody because that's Uncle Sam that was talking about this and that. But he was Uncle Sam talking about everything. So it's just a play on words.
Mhm. Yeah, so let me get back to and let me make sure that I have this. The Now here's the thing. We had some good great guests on our show, and I want to make sure that I acknowledge some of the folks that we've had on over the last year. I think one show that we had earlier this year was our one with JB Som, and ironically, she is here listening from Bermuda, and Tiffany. Why am I forgetting her? Thompson. I'm sorry, Tiffany Thompson. Um, Coach, do you remember when we had them on and we almost had like a listening party? I think it was in March,
Yep.
and yeah,
JB music too.
and JB Som released music on in Women's History Month, and so they came on and premiered music from her release, and we were like, Janita, this is wonderful. And so she explained, why she came up with some of the music, what inspired the lyrics, and we really had a good time learning a lot more about Tiffany and how she sang on one of the songs, I think, Thrive. So yeah, this was a fun time. And Coach, you really I remember you were asking a lot of questions, but I was like, we should
Because I
always
was
have
working on
this
my house with
party.
my mans in them. And I told JB I still need that vocalist. I told JB I'm gonna need that vocalist. If you're gonna jump on this house track, let me know. We about 2026, we're releasing it, Val. Releasing it.
Okay, it's gonna come out. My man's in them. It's
My
getting
man.
ready. It's getting ready to come out. Oh my gosh. Okay, so all right, here we are. This is it. Stephen Colbert
Oh yeah.
in May of 2020 in May of 2026, his show will be coming to an end because he
Sad.
is and has been one of Donald Trump's most outspoken critics. And so this happened back, I believe, in earlier this year. where the merger of CBS and Skydance happened, and he criticized that merger and talked about how 47 was making things happen, bend at his will, and he didn't like it. He hated it. And
I don't think
so that was one of the moments of the year because for here's the thing. Do you watch Stephen Colbert on a regular basis every night?
do you take a shower every day?
I do. I do. I do take a shower every day. I sure do. Why would you ask me that? I ain't trying to be funky.
Because you know better than me. But I just told you that I met Stephen Colbert in New York like 2 years ago. That's my man's in them from the Shy, and I love him. But the thing is, I don't think he was questioning the merger at all. I think he was belittling the 47, and I think that's what got him in trouble. I know the merger was part of it, but I just think that the ridiculousness that he brought out because of the merger. I've worked with before going into coaching. I worked at Nextel, Sprint to T-Mobile. I went through 3 mergers, actually 4. Motorola started with Motorola, 4 mergers, and they didn't put me out or cut me because they was merging with somebody else. Now, if I was outspoken saying that Motorola should have never merged, then maybe they said, well, this kid or this guy ain't on the same page. But I don't think Stephen Colbert actually did that. But again, I think it was the criticism of the 47, like your boy Jimmy Kimmel found out.
Yeah, and he was going to be my next person that I talked about. But yeah, I think the challenge of freedom of speech in 2025 was greatly challenged and looked at as, because I was just thinking this is
Dictatorship.
It became like a dictatorship a little bit. And so I was a little disturbed to see why this was happening with, late night talk shows. Now, I know I don't think anyone ever really, I don't think 47 went after Jimmy. I don't think he went after. Did he go after Fallon? I feel like he didn't go after
Fallon a little bit, but Fallon apologized. But I found out through all this, and I never got a chance to get back at you. Do you know I found out this is why James Corden ended up losing his show before Stephen Colbert? James Corden. You remember he used to do the karaoke.
Oh, it's the Late Show.
Yeah.
It's the Late Show. I used to love that show. Yeah.
Loved him. He was found out he and Donald Trump had some earlier situation before Colbert. That's why he lost it. I didn't know that. I had to go do a little research.
Wow. And that makes me nervous because this is what is happening in other countries where it's more of a dictatorship or was it authoritarianism? Totalitarian. It's that type of regime that unfortunately we're under. And I was looking for the picture for Jimmy Kimmel. So Jimmy Kimmel is my second pop cultural thing of what happened with him, where he went off the air, and a lot of stations in the South didn't carry him because of the way he criticized the killing or what happened with Charlie Kirk.
And we were one of them.
Yeah, we were. And here's the thing: I
don't know if Illinois was it? I know Tennessee was.
No. It wasn't Illinois, but it was Tennessee, It was a lot of southern states that did that. And I can't think of the name of the corporation that's over this, because a lot of the ABC stations are under affiliates. And
it's Sinclair. Sinclair.
It's Sinclair. You are correct. Sinclair. That is correct. Yeah. So that's kind of one of those things that I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And I think one more I want to mention is, well, according to AP News, Puerto Rican superstar Bad Bunny has been named the most played artist for the 4th time, dethroning Taylor Swift. Let me get it out. dethroning Taylor Swift, and he had Tony. Now they don't go by record sales no more. They go by streams. Guess how many streams Bad Bunny had over the last 2025 over the year?
I want to say he was right about 1.8 or 1.9 billion.
Go up 18. It's 19.8 billion streams.
Yeah, so basically, I know we haven't gotten to it, but Dave Chappelle is right. You know, the shit is on the internet. Whether that's what sells. People say some crazy off the wall, you know, it ain't even true, but they want the controversy, and that's where we live. And Bad Bunny made his, unfortunately, off the negative. If 47 would have kept his orange hair and mouth closed and kept looking like the sun kiss, we'd have been good. But couldn't do that. You remember the sun kiss? You just walk around with a glass of Kool-Aid, put the Kool-Aid in.
Wait a minute. Now, there's a thing. I don't want to compare our leadership to Sunkiss. Sunkiss was one of my favorite drinks when I was drinking Kool-Aid. Soda. I don't drink soda no more.
I mean Sunkiss, but I mean Kool-Aid. You remember Kool-Aid? Walk around on the commercial with the big ass glass?
I remember the Kool-Aid, but I don't
always what? Orange. You know,
it was always orange. It was always orange.
We drinking grape or purple or red. You know, we don't never know the color. We don't know that's strawberry. Let me get some red and I take some grape. You know, but Bad Bunny, in my opinion, he personally benefited. He not only he had three type of benefits. First, the negative press. Because now people are like, who the hell is this Bad Bunny down here? I don't know anybody, never heard no damn Bad Bunny. Let me Google this Bad Bunny boy, see who that is. Right? That's what they doing. Not from yours in the Midwest, but in the South, that's what they doing. Then Billy Bob Thornton and them way out in the sticks, they never heard of Bad Bunny. They didn't got the shotguns out because they thought this is a rabbit season. Bad Bunny, I better catch him.
Oh, no.
And then the third press is 47. 25, 47, right? Had something to say. So now the floodgates open. And not only does the floodgate open, you then go back to my earlier comment because you didn't like Kendrick Lamar and you try to tell basically the owners, we need to change the way the Super Bowl puts on musical acts. And then you say, who the hell is this Bad Bunny? And, oh, by the way, thank you, sir. When you bring us to the Super Bowl, my homies called ICE going to be up in there arresting people. And then he had to figure out with his dumb ass that, oh, Puerto Rico is a state. Scratch my head again. So Bad Bunny was definitely now going to be on top of it because he now becomes, who is this cat? What does he sing? First of all, what the hell is he saying? Even Gail said, I love the music. I only wish I knew some Spanish. But now, I like how he did it, Val. He's like, you know, I'm still coming. And oh, by the way, it would be really dumb for the U.S. to come and arrest the people that are citizens while they're at my show. I mean, it's going to be interesting.
I know. And because here's the thing, the great thing about Bad Bunny is that he raised millions and millions of dollars for Puerto Rico. They got hit last year with the hurricane.
Yes.
Real bad. And I'm thinking, and here, how apropos, around late August, early September, they announced Bad Bunny is going to be the performer for the Super Bowl for 2026.
And your boy tried to get the owners to say it was that. Now, he even went as far as saying this is the second worst Super Bowl there will be in history. No one wants to hear this person. No one knows the music and this and that. And when we get finished working the crowd and with ice and all that, you're gonna, it's stupid. It's music. Whatever happens now, it soothes the soul. Whatever happened to that?
Well, here's the thing. It is, I think, Jay-Z's company, and I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Jay-Z, come on, Val.
No.
And then Martin said, Chapelle.
Not that one. But they're responsible for bringing in the music. No. They're responsible for bringing the music into.
Yeah, Chapelle. That's what I just told you.
I know. I think it's a different name. I think it's a totally different name.
It's either Rock Nation or Chapelle, because those are the ones he owns. He may have sold Chapelle, but it's Rock Nation is the one that's doing all the stuff.
Rock Nation for Super Bowl. Let's see.
If it ain't that,
Um,
now, but
yeah,
he
so
owns.
Rock Nation, yeah, Rock Nation, Jay-Z's entertainment company, has been the NFL's live music
Come on, talk to me,
strategist
pal.
since
I told you that.
2019. No, you said Tadal, and I'm
Like
like,
I said, if
honey,
it
that's
wasn't
not
tied
it.
out, it was Rock Nation. I know they ain't going no shit. He ain't
So
created nothing else.
okay, okay. But anyway, I here's but I'm happy about that that he's going to be performing, and so the last thing I want to mention, and this is in conjunction with a lot earlier this year, we talked about the documentary Never Too Much from Luther Vandross. Do you remember that,
Much,
Coach?
never too much. I'm still banging that on my house track.
So we and in that show, you stated that it's a shame that it took this long to give Luther his flowers.
Yes.
Um, because this was a very well edited and very well told
I
story
was
from
impressed.
his background singers, people that worked with him from the concerts, the musicians,
Yep.
Marcus Miller, Lisa Fisher, just all of the people that worked with Luther Vandross. And so the Never Too Much, it came out at the very end of 2024, but then it streamed on CNN in January of this year. So that's me going all the way back, just kind of remembering that. And yeah, I see Dave, he says this was a one great documentary for him. So
Yeah, but
I
he
I
was a
love
thug on that
doc-
too. I didn't realize that, and he was just a
Mhm.
quiet character, and coming up he was different, but I always knew it.
Yeah,
One thing I was really impressed is that he always said that from early on, as he was making it as one of the all-time greatest singers, that people wanted to really worry about his sexuality, and it never was what they thought it was going to be, and they kept calling
right.
him gay, and he wasn't, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna run with it if it's gonna sell records." And he did. Shit, he stayed in that lane and sold a lot of records.
And if you were to think about and we talked about this on the show, some of our favorite music from Luther, they to me is just timeless. Some of the music that has come from
What's your favorite?
Luther Vandross. So if I was to think, I can't. It can't be down to just one. It's actually
No, I gotta
three.
give me one.
I no. I'm going to give you three.
I
So
need
it's
your
I'm
top.
I'm well
Be the
my
DJ. You said DJ save your life. You on a
yes.
bridge about to get pushed over in the water. I need one.
Okay, so I'm staring off into the space like what song really got to me? Oh, it was a remake that Luther Vandross did because Luther would do these remakes, Coach, and you never knew it was a remake. You heard the original, and you're like, Dionne Warwick recorded that, or
Mhm.
this person recorded that. So if I was to think slow, my absolute favorite is oh gosh, not anyone who had a heart because he that was a remake, but it was the other one, not the other side of the world. Which it was on the tip of my tongue, but of course, um, oh superstar.
Okay.
Yeah, that's got to be my favorite because I think here's the thing. I am someone who loves extended versions of music, Coach. If I find out there's the 9 to 10 to 15-minute version of a song, I might fall in love with it. Superstar had like a 9-minute version of
But I'm
it.
gonna give you one.
What you got?
Man, you know me, I'm all about the house music. I know Dave was saying he like the house is not a home. I can't be cuddled up like that. I'm a house DJ. So, what I'm saying? Unless I got some chicken wings, something to eat on. I am on that Luther, that house track. Better love, doom, boom, 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 doom, boom, boom, doom.
Oh, that's got a cold bass line.
Not only a cold bass line, none other than Louis Vega did the remix on that oh my goodness, that is, you drop that in, man, you can play that in any, you can play that in an R&B set with you and your girls, and you can take that
Mhm.
shit to the club and play it in a house set, and you're gonna get the
Yeah.
old head still give me some of this, Ugh.
And what and there was it my uncle? Let me not get emotional. So my uncle Maxie used to always have these gatherings either for 4th of July,
For sure, in the backyard.
in the summertime, in the no, in the backyard, in the
Basically.
backyard.
Oh, yeah, we're playing
And
cards.
then sometimes playing cards or dominoes, and then
Right.
sometimes he would have something for Labor Day. So when that song would come on, his favorite part was at the very end, and it would look who could have a better love.
Dum, 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 dum,
And that bass line is going, and my uncle would just be like,
Man, I'm telling you. Hey, let me tell you something, Val. I let me see here. I'm not gonna tell you mine. I'm gonna ask you first. And
"Oh, I gave
stay
you mine.
no, no, no,
Which
no.
one?"
Stay where
Okay,
you are in your mind, right?
okay.
So as you were being groomed for as this young DJ that you never saw yourself down the road, and you're listening to your uncle's backyard domino and card party and music that they played, what was kind of your mindset during that time in that probably that mid 80s?
My mindset? Okay.
It's why when you were at those backyard parties or they were playing, and because most of the time they get your butt downstairs, get on, leave these grown folks alone. You in Chicago. For those that don't know, if those that don't know in Chicago, back in the day, if you didn't have these backyard parties, you can go down to 63rd on Rainbow Beach and get the bongos in your ear from the Jamaicans playing all night long.
So what was the feeling I was having? Is that the question?
Suppose your mindset when you listen to all this old music, because it.
Well, I will jump in and say this. So Frankie Beverly, Maze featuring Frankie Beverly. And so now this is getting into the last part I wanted to talk. This is the last part I wanted to talk about from 2025. We lost a lot of great people, and I'm going to get into that in a couple of seconds. But yeah, Maze featuring Frankie Beverly. When I was much younger, when I would hear that, I'm thinking, all right, I shouldn't be listening to this, or this is just for them, the older folks. And I think the favorite of one of the backyard parties was I'm just happy to see you and me back in stride again.
Yeah.
And when I would hear that, and I'd be like, I don't know. And then Dave, he mentions Prince. My mom said this, coach. My mom said this. I played either International Lover or one of those songs. And my mom was like, get this hollering Negro off my radio. Get this hollering Negro off my radio. That's what she would say. And I cleaned it
Mine
up.
on Prince was controversy though. Boom, 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 boom. Oh man, that was the.
And Dave said he was into Michael Jackson at the time in the 80s. I think all of us were.
So let me I'm gonna elaborate which you said some of it, but let me kind of say what I was really trying to hope for you. I was hoping that you went down this lane, being a DJ. And I didn't like it. We was like mom and pops told us our music was booty, booty, booty. Get that booty, 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 booty off this. You remember that? Oh man, what y'all? Yeah. I was house, man. I was deep house. I'm boom, boom, boom. They're like, get that boogie, boogie, boogie out the way. Mom, that's house music. Boy, you want to listen to some damn house music? Let me show you what house music is. And they put Luther and, like you said, Roger, Zapp. Who else? Commodores. There was Commodores, Parliament Funkadelic, Roy Ayers. Gladys Knight, the Pimps, Temptation. I can keep going. And I was always like, this old ass music, man, I'm trying to get to Mendel. I'm trying to get out to the, this and that. And you know what I'm saying, Val?
And come to find out that the music that what you just said that we criticized, that would get the folks moving on the dance floor.
Correct. That was the music that Frankie, for those that don't know who ain't house fan, that was the music that Frankie, the late great godfather of house music, was remixing as he came from New
Mhm.
York to Chicago with him and Andre
Chicago, right?
and Ron Hardy and Farley Keith and Steve Silk Hurl. I can go down the line. Mike Dunn ain't gonna forget you, baby. But
Mhm.
Terry Hunt ain't gonna forget you either in case you're watching this. But that was the music, Val, like you said, that you listened to a Better Love. That was the original. But when you went to the club, like I ain't heard that version. Where that version come from?
Yeah, and it would be a
Right,
different, version too.
Oh,
And
oh,
I
oh,
like this. Dave says that he liked Motown and he was
oh, man.
living on his own in the 80s. And then he was also a big
What
fan
about
of Lionel
Polygram, Dave?
Richie, Lisa, and Cult Jam. Those are some of the
Now,
people that
what
he
about
liked.
what about
Mhm.
Polygram? Because you got ain't no stopping us now.
Who? Give me the
With
name of
old
that.
dude,
Who is
Polygram
that?
was
Who is it?
a record company. Polygram was a record company.
So you mean Whitehead? What's the guy's name?
McFadden and Whitehead.
McFighton and Whitehead out of
McFadden.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, out of
Right, right. The
the
Philly
Philadelphia Sound.
sound.
And
Mhm.
Dave, you haven't seen, and me and Val didn't review this, and I wish we would have, and we talked about it, but I wish a few weeks ago, if you haven't seen it, if you guys
Yeah.
have not watched the Lisa documentary movie, please check it out. I learned so much. I actually
Documentary or the actual Lifetime movie?
No, not Lifetime. It's on Netflix. She had came out
Okay.
with a Netflix movie. I learned so much about her that I didn't know. Didn't know that she lied about her age 2 years prior. She was actually a star at 14 years old instead of 16, 17. I've reached out to her on the gram. I've been talking to a few folks. Man, I'm hoping, like I said, this 26 is going to bring me some people. But if you haven't seen that, Dave or Val, you got to go watch Lisa and Cold Jam, the movie on Netflix. It is off the chains. And at the end of the movie, it brings out Lisa herself and talks about her story and the whole 9 yards. And
Yeah,
it's excellent. But we go through
yeah.
that, Val, because we had an opportunity, you and me, to be a
Mhm.
part of that great music of Motown, as Dave mentioned, Capitol
Mhm.
Records, Polygram, Interscope coming, and these waves of rock and roll disco, right, being burnt in White Sox Park, for those that don't know, in Comiskey in Chicago, 1978. And that
We
was
talk
the
about that.
birth of house music because disco
Right.
was there. So there's a lot of that stuff that goes on. And like you just said, those guys, Val, think about
Mhm.
Uncle Charlie, right? Gap Band, way back in the day with me, Bird Rubber on me, Chinese.
You
Oh, yeah,
you blow
yeah,
my mind,
my
baby.
baby. Yeah,
Mhm.
you're right.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So
him what's my man? George Clinton with Snoop. These guys will live on because they made
because of
relevant
what happened.
music.
And they
Yes,
got a little bit of a, I wanna call it a boost
yes,
when the rap artists started using the sound,
yes.
because all of the entire 1992 Chronic album is
Oh
part
man,
of it.
it's part of it. Tell me this, Val. It's 2025. Tell me
Mhm,
what party you can go to. All right, I want all y'all on here tonight.
mhm,
Tell me if I'm lying or not,
mhm.
because I know I'm Greek. Ka Sci-Fi New Pie. That's what we do until we die. But
All
listen,
right.
if you go to a frat party, I don't give a
Okay.
damn if you're alumni or undergrad, and you put on George Clinton, dum dum dum, dum 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 dum,
What song is this? What
Atomic
song
Dog.
is this?
Them cues coming out. You
Oh,
put them
well,
Atomic Dog
yeah,
on,
yeah,
cues coming out.
they'll do their dance or whatever, but okay,
Homie is
I
that's a
didn't wanna okay, Tony, I didn't wanna
1977 record though, Val.
okay.
You see what I'm
I didn't
saying?
wanna I didn't want to go down this complete rabbit hole of
I got you.
music, but what I did want to mention is some of the icons that we did lose in 2025.
Oh yeah, we lost you.
Dwayne Wiggins of Tony, Angie Stone.
Oh, that was tough with Angie Stone.
Oh my
Tough.
gosh. Yeah, we Roberta Flack,
Flag,
Roy Ayers.
Roy Ayers, Chicago's
Oh
own.
yeah, every my life, my life, my life, my life. And then
That's
what kind of hurt my heart, and this happened in July, was the passing of Malcolm Jamal Warner. And we did a whole show on him kind of thanking him for all of the things that he contributed to television and film. I had watched The Resident. It's on Netflix now, but it
Residents,
originally
yeah,
aired on
Malcolm
Fox. The
Jamal, yeah.
Residents. Did you watch that show, The Residents?
Yeah, when it was on, I caught bits and pieces of it. I wasn't a big Resident fan, but I thought it was pretty cool.
Mhm.
There was a lot of
Yeah,
doctor shows at that time when he was doing that, remember?
exactly. And
And I
I didn't
think
know which one to
wasn't
pick.
Lost on at the same time. Remember Lost?
Yeah, I remember Lost. I remember Lost, but I definitely know with The Resident. I mean, they gave him a love interest and everything, and I think he was only supposed to be on. And I think the very last thing that Malcolm was on actually aired literally in October. And I
Wow.
think it's the name of the show. Let me bring up the name of the show. But yeah, so we had a lot of iconic musicians and folks leave us. My mom and this gentleman Robert Redford were born on the same day in 1936.
Oh,
So
wow.
he passed in September, and Robert Redford, just kind of iconic. And then, of course, most recently, we talked about this last week with Rob Reiner, just kind of a, a phenomenal director, and All in the Family. Totally, just going back to all of the things I remember from my childhood. Him having hair, and when he started directing, he didn't have any hair.
Archie. Archie. Hey, man, he was the big dummy.
Uh-huh.
Him and Lamont, there were two dummies on TV. One dummy
I
and one big
know.
dummy. You know,
Yeah,
Archie
and
called
I
him the
didn't.
dummy, and Fred called Lamont the big dummy.
Oh my gosh. But anyway, we are gonna now get to the Chappelle comedy special, but we'll do that right after this. Aha.
Are you a small business owner looking to grow? Introducing the KeySpot mobile app. I'm Cynthia McAllister, owner of the IT company Quality SAP. Since 2016, we have been supporting small businesses and help them promote and share their businesses, services, and events across the country. KeySpot is more than just an app. We are a network providing community. KeySpot, connecting communities and supporting small businesses.
All right, we are back. I gotta do this. We'll probably get a strike on this one, but I just wanted to
We ain't
share
strike
this
out.
one. We'll strike out. Let me bring it up here. Here we go.
Because I was on stage in Saudi Arabia. I didn't tell them to put this in the paper. I just said it on stage. I said it's easier to talk in Saudi Arabia for me than it is in America, and just felt some kind of way. Oh, I stand 10 toes on that. Don't forget what I just went through. 2 years ago, I almost got canceled right here in the United States for transgender jokes. But I got to tell you something. Transgender jokes went over very well in Saudi Arabia. Couldn't get enough of that shit. I was in the pocket. I was like, where have you been? Right. Every article said the comedians hoard themselves out to a dictator, but all the articles have my picture on it. You know what? I can't even get mad because, to be fair, I did make more money than all of those comedians. I don't even work at Netflix no more. You know what my new job is? I sit by the phone and wait for them Arabs to call me. Can I help you guys? What do you need?
Man.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
on point with Dave on this one. Plus,
Rough.
I was in that zone.
Rough.
So, I loved it. Don't know about you. I got my own comments.
You know what? And I played that particular clip because it just seems as though this seems to be the trend with African American performers for decades. We're accepted or loved in other parts of the world, but where we come from, which is here, sometimes we are not as loved or adorned. We are heavily criticized, and I have to say that is disheartening that it's like that. And I think, Coach, as I put this up here, and I was doing the research on this, a cloud of smoke, him with the Kaepernick shirt on and his number.
Exactly.
And
Armor fatigue's on, baby. Ready for battle. You gotta read through that.
and so there's so many gems in this comedy special. And the funny thing is that he gives you kind of a warning that, okay, it's going to take me a minute to, do my closing. And I was thinking, why is he letting us know about a closing 33 minutes in? It's about 33 minutes in. And he said that. So I want to, before I go all the way levels deep, let me get your thoughts.
First of all, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
How many comedians can you name out of Russia?
Me?
Yeah, you.
None.
What about China?
Even less.
What about North Korea?
Absolutely no.
And what about Iran?
I can't pronounce his name. That one person can, but no.
Yeah, none.
But he's over here.
Yeah, exactly. So basically what I'm going to say is that when you're looking at those countries, you can't see it because those are what? Dictatorships. Red communist countries. So you don't get what we're going to get here without our own internal support, because we got a person who don't believe that if you mention his name or say anything against him and you in that particular line of work, that you need to be successful. And, when you try to muffle the First Amendment, then you kind of hurt a lot of people's careers, because freedom of speech, we ain't got that. We ain't got nothing. First of all, to start with, if you ain't got it able to say what the hell you got to say, then you got nothing. So again, your podcast. But the thing is with this, the onion got peeled back. And when the onion got peeled back, it just showed after what, a 22 year, maybe 25 year career, maybe 30 for Dave, that it took him 25 to 30 years to find out, damn, I could lead the United States and be more successful, say what the hell I want to say, and make more money. I'm in Saudi Arabia. Come on. Right up. And then I went to Dubai with all the paper at. Come on. So you got to look and see. And this is why, again, that you see these comedians on these planes, because you and I talked about a few weeks ago. I wasn't a Kevin Hart fan that last show. I don't give a damn what he say.
Yeah, I kept trying to watch that, and I kept going. I kept snoozing, and I'm like, this
correct.
Is not
and I gave you one, right? Matt Rife. If you guys haven't heard of this white kid, Ohio, Mattrife, he has a Christmas special. He is completely hilarious, and he interacts with the audience. And I don't get a chance to see a lot of these, but Dave is my boy. And why? Dave is raunchy. So I was reading a moment ago when you asked, and it was talking about the good and the bad. And I'm going to let you finish and ask you a question, and I'm going to try to tell you the good and bad of what they're saying.
Okay, wait, repeat that again.
No, I said I've got a thing talking about the good to the show and the bad to the show. But before I give you that, I'm going to let you say what you were saying about more of the show, and then it'll all tie in.
Okay. So Dave opens up and here's the thing. They dropped this comedy show after the live fight Friday night on Netflix. This was recorded in October in DC, his hometown, and he opens up with him. It opens up with him accepting the 2019 Mark Twain Prize, and he quotes his mom. And I think, if I remember what the quote is from his mother, sometimes you have to be a lion so you can be the lamb you already are. And then he joked and says, I talk this like a lion. And, and so I'm listening to the music that he picked. I'm listening to how it opens. Gentleman from X Clan. This is
From the
black,
red, the black,
green.
the green. Sissy.
Yeah, so anyone from 80s and 90s hip hop know who X Clan is, because that was my group back in the day. So with him starting with that, it was just kind of that I'm getting recognition, and that recognition was at the Kennedy Center. Now, wait a minute, before I go, let me stop sharing real quick. Let me stop sharing.
They better start wearing some better shoes, or I know that.
I gotta bring us in close. So the Kennedy Center
was renamed.
Has been renamed.
Breaking news.
Because number 47 went ahead and fired everyone that was a part of the board and brought on his own people.
Right.
He is now hosting the Kennedy Center Awards right now on CBS.
Hold on one second. Hold on. You forgot one thing, brother. We gotta take a TV break, so I gotta put his name up here. Hold on.
Okay, put the name up there. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You got the name there, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the name. That's right. And so the new Kennedy Center will now be named the Trump
Robert F. Kennedy Center and Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even like the damn Kennedys beside the one you got there making the calls and decisions about medicine who ain't never been a doctor in his life.
But isn't it ironic that Dave drops a special days before this happens?
Right.
Coincidence? I think not. Okay, back to the program.
Sissy. It's the red, the black, and the green.
Yeah, here's the thing. This was a history lesson for me, Coach. His whole closing was like a history lesson. And I'm thinking about when I spoke about sinners, and we, discussed it last week, but then we also talked about it and reviewed the film. And I was telling you the vampires represent this kind of, Black people in this country seeking out to start off and do things on their own. And then the Black Wall Streets around the country, if someone of a white persuasion got jealous or was upset that they were bold, that these Negroes were bold enough to, stand on their own, have their own hotels, have their own garage, have their own businesses, and be their own doctors, we're going to burn everything down. And people, I think Tom Hanks kind of went off and said, I never knew, it was never taught in my history books what happened, the massacre that happened in Oklahoma City. When I found out that was one of many Black Wall Street
the Wall Street. She's still living.
I think she passed, though. I think she passed earlier this year.
Okay.
One of the last living survivors, because they interviewed her for the documentary that they did about that probably a few years ago in either 2021 or 2022, because people were it was coming up on the 100th anniversary of what happened. So Dave gives this history lesson about a Black boxer. What was his name? Jack Johnson. And I remember hearing about him, but not really understanding everything.
Muhammad Ali, before his time, as he was getting going, he was the Muhammad Ali of his day.
Right. And I and so I'm thinking to myself, this has got to be, so how he ties in Jack Johnson, how he ties in his meeting with Nipsey Hussle, when he mentions Dr. Sebi and how Dr. Sebi out of New York found and discovered the cure for HIV and AIDS, and kind of how he was silenced. It was kind of, he says, I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but he puts it out there. And earlier, before he went into his closing, he did talk about his, relationship with Puffy. and kind of, threw the joke out, a couple of jokes out there, like, he did ask me this question, and now it's making sense. Like some things are starting to make sense to him now. Like, what are you into? He's thinking, oh, I'm into, video games. And, and he didn't know. He was just, joking around. I didn't know it was going to be opportunity to get at Cassie. So I was thinking he made light of some things, but I think the main thread throughout was powerful Black men. If they defy the system, they created a Mann Act, which I looked up. That was a real thing. Mann Act.
You ain't know about the Mann Act?
I didn't know about. I think if I read about it, I forgot about it because that Mann Act eventually was gotten rid of. But anyone that did not show fear against white people, and we're talking, this is after slavery, but before the civil rights movement. Jack Johnson did that, and for him to just kind of go on this history tour, you're gonna have a lot of people looking things up in and I went to the encyclopedia because maybe Google might switch it. I don't know, but Coach, this was a history lesson, and I was thinking that a lot of flowers in. Mm-hmm.
Because I'm gonna read this last question by V. Vigimaster V. He said, "Be honest, okay? Would you change anything if you found out that the majority of white people don't want to live with black people? What would you do?" Well, you must be from the South. Val and me from Chicago. Shit, they live all in our neighborhood. Because Chicago is Chicago. If you haven't heard about Chicago, it's one of the most integrated, most prejudiced cities in the United States.
Segregated. It's segregated, yeah.
Very segregated. Your ass can walk in what we say a mile, which is 8 city blocks. I can go through 3 gangs, 1 white, 1 Russian, 1 Polish, 1 Irish, and the mob before I got out of that 1 mile. That's just Chicago, baby. So you learn to live with people. So to answer your question is, I only can answer that because I'm a city guy, and we don't let that move us. Because you know why? In the city of Chicago, can't speak for any other, and I live in New York as well, but in the city of Chicago, you know what moves us? Our damn sports teams. You can talk all that bullshit you want about this and that and where you are in the city, and Val will tell you. But you come talking about the Bears, the Bulls, the Blackhawks, the White Sox, and the Cubs. Now you got a conversation. You will see a city move because people will move together. When the Cubs and the White Sox play on a Subway Series, there's movement. When the Bears having a good year, right, after the Super Bowl and did things, there's movement. Bulls were whooping everybody's ass for them 6 rings. There was a movement. You can come in Chicago and talk crazy to us because we're not going to let you. But outside of this, looking at what Dave said, I thought it was very interesting because I used to DJ and be in some of these spots. And like you said, Val, he said, I went in the club and no boys. OG said, hey, listen, man, you may want to watch yourself over here tonight. I know that usually you see a light color is blue, but the night is green. Why the hell the light get green? Because the FBI watching. Who they watch? They watching this dude named P. Diddy, Sean Combs, and Notorious B.I.G. I was waiting for him to drop Tupac, but Pac wasn't there. And now he's 30 years. Now, he had a great point. You've been watching this dude for 30 years? 30. And you mean to tell me you just not got him? 30. Shit. You've been watching the mob since the 80s. You didn't call John Gotti him a long time ago.
Well, and here's the thing, and also Philly was close 2 years back. Okay, I get that. I get that too. Let me see if I understand this. Be honest, would you change it now that the majority of whites don't want to live with I'm assuming that means blacks.
What the young whites don't care, Val, because these young kids are what? They're growing up off damn music and videos. They don't give a damn if you can play basketball, sports, we love music, rap. That's how they grown up. Now, that question may come to our era, the Gen X, we can answer it. But these new kids, they don't give a damn what color you are. Hell no.
Well, here's the thing. If you're taught hate, because here's the thing. One of the great points that was made in this comedy special with Dave, and I'm glad he addressed it, was the comparison of Charlie Kirk to
Right.
Dr.
Martin
King.
Luther King.
And
Come
I
on.
was, yeah, and I was thinking he pretty
What
much
day?
said what a lot of black people were thinking. But
Right.
here's the thing that I was because there was kind of that, I am very sorry for what happened to Charlie Kirk. And coach, and I said this when we were discussing this when it came to Jimmy Kimmel. Before Charlie Kirk got killed, I had never heard of this young man at all. Come to find
I
out, he
heard
had
of him because
mobilized.
he's in Nashville, right?
Because you're Nashville, but there was a
Correct.
lot of people that mobilized behind him because he was an internet personality
Correct.
that got everyone fired up. Young
love of
people
hip-hop sales.
under the age of this, and say, you know what, we're going to support Trump the second term.
Correct.
You know, we're not, forget about the insurrection, forget about him being convicted, forget about all that stuff. We're young people, and we're what is this, MAGA, or young Republicans? We're gonna support Trump. And when the Utah governor when they had him on, coach, he almost said, I wish that person was black, because they found out exactly who was a person that did this terrible thing to Charlie Kirk. I was thinking to myself, I ain't never going to Utah.
But yeah, they wanted him to be black, and when he wasn't black, they tried to make it look like he was a far right guy. Come on, man, cool out with that. And matter of fact, I guarantee you one thing. I guarantee you this new shit that they got coming out. I guarantee you Charlie Kirk's birthday ain't gonna be dishonored like they trying to do with Martin Luther King. Come on, man. They trying to do away with King's birthday. Come on, 15 days.
And here's. And see, you hear this. Dave says he had never heard of Charlie Kirk either. I'm sorry.
Majority of people have. If you was in the seven southern states, I'm at value are because their headquarters is here in Nashville. Well, one of the regional headquarters, the big church. So we hear this stuff, but this is going to show you this tonight. I'm glad I'm talking to you because this go to show you the difference between borderlines, right? Right. You north of the Mason-Dixon line. So you ain't getting the stuff that I'm getting, and I'm south of it. And I'm getting it. But then I don't get the political rhetoric that you hear at home. I don't get it here because it's shunted away. So it becomes crazy. And I love the best part of what Dave said when Dave said, funny was when he met T.I. and T.I. took him around Atlanta.
Oh, yeah. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he took him around. Man, that dude right here, man. And then he gave the young boys, it remind me of pulling up on 95th Street in the Dan Ryan right there, Val, where you go down on the expressway. When the boys back in the day, we knew there was Brother Minister Farrakhan boys, right? We know they was coming with the bean pies in the newspapers, and they watched the window never sell you something. And Dave talked about that a little bit.
Let's get to Kevin's point. On that point, Dave drove home was how the late John McCain voted against getting the MLK holiday. He ended up losing to Barack Obama for president many years later when it came full circle with that. But wasn't that ironic? Dave's friends with Stevie Wonder, and they're on their way, getting ready to go pay tribute to Aretha Franklin.
Boy, man,
I'm gonna need you to go.
But the thing was more ironic than that, Val, when he said Barack got the nomination on Dr. Martin Luther King's day of the speech.
I know.
That's when you know that the man upstairs, and I love him to death, the man upstairs understands 5 minutes from now that we ain't even got to, because he knows what's going on. And when you don't believe him, then that's on you. You're on your own territory. He tell me to do something, I'm gonna do it. So when you looking at that, and he came home and told his wife, man, I was hanging out with T.I. tonight, blah, blah, blah. He met doing this young cat. Said, what was that name? Nipsey Hussle. This boy for real, for real. You know, and they did all this stuff. But it was so crazy because it's like some of the stories when me and you be talking behind stage, and I be talking about the early 90s and the going to Atlanta, the Freaknik stuff. It's crazy because I remember telling you a couple of stories that, you know, I'm watching All Eyes on Me. You watch it 3 or 4 times, or you watch these certain events, you're like, damn, I didn't realize that was Tupac, or that was Q-Tip, or that was LL Cool J, you know, and I was there at a certain situation. And when you look at what Dave is saying, like
Mhm.
you mentioned earlier, it's really terrible, Val, that you can't be a comedian to just do your work unless you go
Mm.
out of the country, because elsewhere they want to hear your jokes and they're going to pay you what you're worth. But you can't even do it right here at home. And if you do it the wrong way, they want to put you out.
Yeah, and you are heavily criticized for saying that and making a stand. I'm trying to understand
And
this
you don't even
comment
have
that I'm
you
looking
don't
at
have
right now.
Article 1, but they want you to uphold Article 2. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah. But you know what? I Dave, now usually the comics are friendly toward one another, but he gave a black eye to uh our guy right here. Well, he's not my guy, but you know
Oh,
this comedian.
yeah.
I was like, oh, I guess they fell out.
Yeah, they feel like he talked about Bill Maher, hey, because he be talking all that crazy crap. Sometimes I like him because of some of the stuff he say, but some of the stuff he be saying, he'll say it and he take that shit back. I'm like, man, stand on it. Stand on it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think with that, just kind of that criticism of, people, because the one thing that I was really moved by was toward the end, and he says, I'm going to give out a code. Now, if you ever hear me say this, then
That was
I'm
funny.
compromised. And I was like, what does he mean by that? And he's like, oh, I just thought of what the code is. And I'm not going to say what the code is because I'd love for you all to check it out. But he drops the mic, and then we go into one of my favorite songs from the album will be turning 50 years young
Yes.
next year. Songs in the Key of Life, Stevie Wonder,
So,
Joy Inside My Tears. That's one of my
but
favorite songs from Stevie
what
Wonder.
did you learn
Love that.
out of this comedy thing he was talking about, Steve? Did you learn anything he was telling you, any story that he was telling you that you're like, damn, I ain't know that?
I didn't know about Jack Johnson.
Okay.
I knew a lot about Dr. Sebi, but he confirmed what I knew
Okay.
based on what he said. And like I said, the through line from 1910 to 2025
Mhm.
is when you are a black person, you are a black man,
Mhm.
and you're educated and you push against the system. Sometimes that system takes you out, or there's something, if something happens to you, you are being watched, because at the very end of this thing, you see a FBI folder, his name is on it, and it closes. And I'm just kind of like I don't know if he knows, or if he said, I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but the thing that I was getting from that is that Jack Johnson, bold, I'm gonna, I don't care. I'm gonna, have
Yeah,
a
but
white
he
woman.
came back and said, hey, my own
Mhm.
personal get up for trying to be, out there in that field, as the young kids say nowadays, trying to be outside, got me caught up. But the one thing that I thought hit me was the Stevie Wonder
What?
song, because we sing that every damn birthday. Happy birthday to you. And
Oh,
I
but you
didn't
knew
realize.
that. But you knew that, right?
Yeah, I knew that was Anthem, but I didn't really knew that that he had that song so tied to the Martin Luther King to get. I didn't realize the depth of that. So that I didn't. You may have. I didn't realize the depth of that.
I
And I
did
thought
a
that.
whole book report on that song, and because they were fighting for it when I was in grammar school, and I
Mhm.
think it finally went over in like 85, 86. I remember that because the Bears won in 86. The Chicago Bears won, and the same year, that I think that's when I think it passed in 86, 87, 86, I think.
Well, let me tell you something. As we get out of here, VV Vixmaster V. I don't know what the hell you talking about in this crazy comment. He says the white people who can't stand living with black people are forced to live with them. Tell me how the hell they forced. No one in this country is forced to live with nobody. Your ass ain't got to live next to me. Sell your house. If you don't want to pay your damn rent, get behind and watch their ass bankrupt you. You get up out of my neighborhood, or vice versa. Then you turn around and have the nerve to say they are the most abused and discriminated group of people in the country. Who? You talking about the Latinos, the Brown brothers? Shit, I ain't seen. Tell me one boat of white folks that you just get shot out the ocean. Not one.
So
Not
the
one.
whites can't. The whites can't wait. The whites can't stand living with blacks.
And we just put it. They are the most abused and discriminated group of people in the country. The whites. How? Where? When?
The whites.
We only make up 18.5% to 19% of the population. Blacks. Well, I'm saying about 22. And Latinos is quickly closing ground at about 18, besides one that's just been deported. So they ass back down to about 15 right now. So they got to make up some work. So you're looking at, even if we add black and brown brothers together, we had about 38%. Now, the problem you should be looking at is not us. The problem you should be looking at is the whites that don't want to live around blacks. Their daughters want to live around them blacks, so they keep getting them damn athletes. And that population has grown through the roof. And so now you have got, as you guys used to call them, mulatto kids or whatever, mixed kids. Now that population has grown. So now the overall white population that was in the United States that was dominated heavily has dropped drastically. So we're going to talk facts. Let's talk facts. But that's where you're at. I don't think that there is one person that I know Val may know a few, but I don't know any black people that I know. Is every person came to me and said, I don't want a white person to live next to me. I got plenty of white people around me. Shit, I got a lot of white homies. I go play basketball. I play golf with their ass. I go drink, kick it, hang out. We go to club. Matter of fact, I DJ with a white boy. What you talking about?
Well, Tony, I see that comment got you a little riled up. But here's the thing, that person did that on purpose. Did it.
I love it. I love it. Go watch Dave Chappelle, my man's in there. If not, holler at my man's in there. I got a couple of homies. I got a couple of my man's in them in the side. We'll really break that down for you. Yeah, and Dave said that's the new cry per the EEOC. Right. Yeah, it is. Right. You know, and what else, Dave? It's for the cry for the EEOC because they've been done wrong. They still find everybody. You don't believe it? Call my daughter. That's a whole nother story. I know, and the whole thing is that with the Dave Chappelle, I want to call it the special. It's the one thing that I love is that he gets you to think. It's not comedy. Exactly. It's, because there's some people that took offense to the Israel reference, people that were Jewish, people that are, but that's Dave. Like he called everybody the N-word, right? He called everybody N-word. Right. Him who you are. And he gonna smoke them cigarettes on stage. Right. And then the other thing is that he was cracking jokes about what happened with Cassie and what happened with Puffy. Right. And here's the thing, it's not I don't feel like he was defending Puff, but he was just like, I got into something happened to me, and this guy helped me. Right. He said, he helped me. And I was thinking my security was slipping on baby oil. Exactly, but he kept cracking the joke on the baby oil. But I'm just thinking, I'm like, in the same way that Eddie Murphy didn't kick hard when everything was going down with Bill Cosby, I kind of feel like Dave is doing kind of the same thing and similar, like. And the same thing, Val. I don't mean to throw my opinion out there on the same thing. As we grew up, we just kicked it in the shy. And I know they got my boy R. Kelly up in there locked up on some crazy crap. I done kicked it with my cousins plenty of time on some parties and different things that nature. You have to know R. Kelly. And that's why the city of Chicago love him and stand behind him so much. When you ain't from the city, you sell him out and do what you got to do. But when you from the city, you're going to support him. No different than my boy Little Dirk going through some things right now. G Herbo and these boys are standing up for him. You have to be from these areas. If you were in that area that Charlie Kirk was talking about, then you understood what he was saying. Like Dave said, Val. But if you was sitting up and you're like, man, what the hell is going on? But then when you start to compare him to, somebody like Martin Luther King who got, tell me how many times that, my man right there that's talking right there. Tell me how many times that Charlie Kirk had got a dog sick on him, or water sprayed on, or beaten the head, or put in jail for looking at a white woman or saying something wrong. You haven't. So you can't compare the 1950s and 60s to what's going on now. Because why? We're internet people on the internet, and let you say something like you just said negative because you want to get on.
Yeah. Now here's the thing, and that's what Dave was saying, was that a lot of the fame that came to Charlie was because of what he did. He mobilized people online, and he would say something left because he wanted you to pay attention to him. Whether he believed a lot of the crazy things he says, I don't know, and he can't defend himself because he's not here.
Right.
But all I know is that I was so deeply moved by the choice. I was so deeply moved by the choice of the song "Joy Inside My Tears,"
Right.
because that song has gotten me through some tough times in the past,
Sure,
with other things that have happened. And I think to see a lot of the people that Dave has either a relationship with or friendly with, and then he says, and then this is for D'Angelo, and then he says, and of course my wife Elaine. And so I'm just sitting here looking at all of the people that he's got, and it hurts when you have spent, like, in my mind, Nipsey Hussle was kind of the younger or equivalent to what Tupac was, trying to do to help the community, trying to do something to, he was buying out like areas of Crenshaw, Los Angeles or whatever. And so
right.
I'm thinking about this, and I was thinking how apropos that he used the song, because when he flipped the mic and said, well, okay, good night, when that song drops, you want to laugh, and it's like, whoa, where's this song coming from?
Kind of like Kendrick
Lamar. The lyrics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, and Vic Master V is there. The question I would have for you back on there would be, how many blacks have you literally spoken to or had an opportunity to sit down and have a communication or a dialogue with that you see have been wronged for something that they've been right? Let me listen to that question. How many blacks have you physically sit down and spoke to that have talked to you about something that they've been wronged when they've actually been right, meaning that they have deserved something, like these jobs, these federal jobs, or taking food away from their table from these bills and these different things that's going on right now? You got people homeless or foodless or gasless or sitting out trying to do anything they can do to make it right now because the economy is not good. Those are the stuff that I see. And when you seeing, I know we get Dave Chappelle and Kevin Hart and these other guys to try to make us laugh and give us a little comedy while we're going through some difficult times. And I was glad that Dave dropped it right now. But I think he made a great point. If you look at the satire that he's trying to drop, it's funny, but listen to the point he's trying to make. Exactly. And if you listen to the point he's trying to make, then it'll make you scratch your damn head and say, oh, wow, I ain't even thinking like that. And then you got to look at it like, it's the brothers. He didn't outside of Charlie, shit, he named what, 4 or 5 brothers that got gone. Right? So that's the score.
His comedy mentor, I think his name was Charlie. His name was Charlie, his comedy mentor. And he was like, he was on this, he was on that, but he was like, yeah, don't ever do drugs. Because, cocaine is more prettier than weed. I was like, whoa, okay. So, right. but honestly, I think if anything, when I was rewatching it, I was making these notes and I was like, I want to find out who Jack Johnson is. I want to find out who. I wish you talked to me today. I told you. I find out more about Dr. CB. I think I remember seeing someone related to Dr. CB when I lived in Brooklyn. So I was familiar with.
Even talked about Nipsey Hussle's record, the one that went major. That was the breakthrough record. But the funny part about it was, here it is. Dave went home and told his wife, Val, the night he met Nipsey in Atlanta and kicked it with T.I., that this boy gonna be a star. And didn't even know him. Met him one night, and said, you gonna hear some big things from this dude. But we didn't get a chance to hear that.
Yeah, so we're fine with that, but we're wrapping it up. And like I said, he's pissed off. Like I said, he's angered a lot of folks. But for me, it's for me. I'm trying to figure out. I need to do some research. I need to figure out exactly. I want to, with so many things being yanked out of the libraries, things that are being yanked out of history. They're like, no, 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 we don't want to teach this. We don't want to teach that. I'm like, we just need to keep having that folklore of let's talk about, let's remember Muhammad Ali. Let's remember these people because believe you me, Jewish, no one is never going to allow, if you are Jewish and if you say anything bad or say that the Holocaust never happened,
Mm-hmm.
don't do it. Do not do it. Have that kind of respect for people of color, please, because slavery happened. Slavery happened. Hello?
Right,
Hello.
it happened. And leave the last note, Vic. Hey, check it out. I like that. I like that.
Don't mention that. Don't mention that
Go
comment.
check
I
out.
saw that.
Go check out Matt Rife, Rife. We're gonna leave you right there. Hey, this has been a great show tonight. I love having controversial show. You know, I get stuff in it like like Ali. You know what I'm saying? He said, one thing I'm gonna leave you. If y'all didn't never know this, and Val know I wore my shirt every now and then. Muhammad Ali is one of his greatest statements. He always said, I said I was the greatest well before I knew I was. We're gonna leave you with that.
All right. I like that. All right. I know you're doing the peace sign, but you know I got to do this. This is still the
Oh, yeah.
show.
Get that book out there. You gotta get your orders on. Get that podcast.
I saw you doing the peace sign. I'm like,
let's get this merch on. Let's get this merch on.
If you would like a print copy of A DJ Saved My Life, please go ahead and go to purelightHousemedia.com. It's now available. The personal memoir of how becoming a podcaster and a DJ, virtual DJ, saved my life. And then, of course, the Pull Up Podcast Show. You want to make sure that you go to and scan that QR code and go and see who Coach Tony. He is on the IG
right there.
He's on the
IG. Out with the blue suit, eyes, all that. Man, I love that picture right there, Val. Hey, I'll be sending that out all the time. But listen,
update everything.
Pull up on me. I'm glad Val did that. Pull up on me Monday nights. Y'all already know it's the Pull Up Podcast Show. And my people that's coming in to talk to me in 2026, Val, is thick like fog in San Francisco in the evening time. So pull up on me.
I like that.
Get at me on the gram at the Pull Up Podcast Show.
Of course. And of course, you can come join us on patreon.com/interludes. There's the Purple Robe Diaries and more. I'm always excited about that. Behind the scenes. And then, of course, every week on Mondays, we'll be doing some more best of next week.
Yes,
but we're technically taking the week off for the holidays, and then we'll be coming back strong in 2026.
Put my cash app up. I'm gonna need some Christmas money.
Cash app. This is stuff you should have told me about.
Hey, I'm just messing with you. I just love love. Just send me the love. Y'all can cash app me by upping that subscribe button, and make sure you sharing this show on both sides of the house. That's my cash app right there.
There you go. I like that. And now we could do this. Peace. Wow.
My hand gonna fall off.
I see your hand's gonna fall off. Okay, I'm sorry. We're gonna do that one more again. I'm so sorry, Tony.
This is what you call live TV. That's why y'all pull up on me. Hey, JB, I'm dead serious. Get at me. I need this track. If you can't do the track, I feel you. I need to send it to you so we can get this house track on. My man's in there. Now
and yes, we're coming up on
peace.
Peace. I love technology. It's beautiful.
You better end this show. I'm gonna click on this joint.